Lance, do you know if the science fair at the high school, is that open to the public or is it just for
Yeah.
the kids?
I think it's in the auditorium this year. I saw on the school calendar, which is, I can't believe there's enough room in there for
Yeah.
everything on that stage.
All right, it's 6 o'clock. We'll stand for the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, just a reminder to silence your cell phones, please, and we'll start with a roll call.
Mayor Sherman. Here. Councilor Horton.
Here.
Councilor Machuca. Councilor Scalise.
Here.
Councilor Skiles.
Here.
Councilor Spradlin.
Here.
Councilor Tyree.
Here.
All right, got everybody but one. Approval of the agenda. Is there any additions to the agenda tonight? If not, I would look for a motion to approve.
I move to approve the agenda for February 23rd, 2026.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Councilor Spradlin.
Yes.
Councilor Skiles.
Yes.
Councilor Horton.
Yes.
Councilor Scalise.
Yes.
Councilor Tyree.
Yes.
Mayor Sherman.
Yes. All right, that motion passes. Approval of the minutes. Do we have any corrections for the minutes from last meeting? If not, I would look for a motion.
I move we approve the regular meeting minutes for January 26th, 2026.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Councilor Horton.
Yes.
Councilor Tyree.
Yes.
Councilor Spradlin.
Yes.
Councilor Scalise.
Yes.
Councilor Skiles.
Yes.
Mayor Sherman.
Yes. All right, motion passes. Visitors and delegations, I don't see any citizens here for comments, so we will move on to management. First up, we have Chris Bostrom with a resolution.
Good evening, Mayor and Councilors. Before you this evening is Resolution Number 2026-3, a resolution naming the signatory authority for bank accounts for the City of Brush. Change in councilors has presented us with the necessity to update our authorized signatures for the city bank and investment accounts. At this time, we need to replace outgoing Mayor Pro Tem Larry Lundstrom with incoming Mayor Pro Tem Justin Spradlin. So staff recommendation is approval of Resolution 2026-3 and to assign signatory authority to Mayor Pro Tem Justin Spradlin on behalf of the City of Brush on all accounts held within the financial institutions of Brush, Colorado, and the C-Safe Investment Fund account. All other signatures will remain intact. Mayor Dana Sherman, City Clerk Loranda Packard, and Deputy City Clerk Jan McCall.
Very good. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, does anybody want to make a motion?
I move that we approve resolution number 2026-3, naming signatory authority for bank accounts for the city of Brush.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Councilor Skiles.
Yes.
Councilor Scalise.
Yes.
Councilor Spradlin.
Yes.
Councilor Tyree.
Yes.
Councilor Horton.
Yes.
Mayor Sherman.
Yes. All right, that motion passes. Next, we've got board appointments. We've got the Finance Committee. We lost Councilor Lundstrom off of the Finance Committee, so I would need another counselor to join Councilor Horton and Spradlin and I on the Finance Committee. Anybody interested? Before I voluntold you?
Sure.
All right, Councilor Skiles. All right, does anyone want to make a motion to appoint Councilor Skiles to the Finance Committee?
I move to appoint Councilor Skiles to the Finance Committee.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, roll call vote.
Councilor Scalise.
Yes.
Councilor Horton.
Yes.
Councilor Tyree.
Yes.
Councilor Spradlin.
Yes.
Councilor Skiles.
Yes.
Mayor Sherman.
Yes. Now that you're in, we meet at 5:30 before every council meeting. Thank you very much. All right, and then we've got planning and zoning. Who's on there?
I'm on that one.
You're on that one. Was Larry on that one?
No.
It was Larry.
Yes, sir.
Did we lose one of the others?
We did. And I was prepared to answer that question until you put me on the spot.
I should have that in my.
Allison was on that.
Yes.
Oh, that's
been-
right.
it's been vacant
It's been
for
a
a
while.
while.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
okay.
right.
I wanted to say her name. but
That's what I
wasn't
thought it was,
sure.
but I couldn't remember if we'd replaced her. So we need to go ahead and get that position filled. Planning and zoning, we meet, I don't know, as needed, maybe a couple times a year. It's been,
Pretty
it hasn't
rare,
been
yeah.
terribly often, but they're good meetings. So do I have a counselor that'd be interested in that?
I see you looking at me, that's fine. As long as I know ahead of time, I can make it
Okay.
work.
Very good.
Quick question.
Uh-huh.
Didn't we discuss making that another community member?
We did.
Okay.
And we decided with statute that we would leave it as is.
Okay. I thought there was a conversation about that.
Yeah,
That's
we
why
had-
we didn't replace Allison.
Got it.
We did.
Okay.
Is there a vacant community spot?
There is.
Yeah, I think that's why it feels late.
Okay.
Because we do have a vacant community
Yeah, if I
spot.
remember right, state statute really leaves it up to the local jurisdiction to structure it however you want with as many members as you want.
Well, and when we reread it recently, we interpreted it to mean that we really are bound to have the council members. Is that correct, Dan?
I apologize. I had to leave my office last minute, but I believe Tyler is correct.
Okay.
But the way that your code currently reads dictates that we have it set up with the council members and community members. We can certainly amend your code. I have seen that done in other jurisdictions, but I believe the way it is right now, we need to abide by the rules unless you guys want to change the code.
Yeah. I'm good with it as it is, but I would like to see if we could get another community member to fill that spot. I think that would be good. So if y'all know anybody that's not on council that might be interested in that. So on that, would anybody like to make a motion to for counselor?
I move we appoint Counselor Tyree to the Planning and Zoning Commission, or Board Commission.
Planning and Zoning Commission. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Counselor Tyree?
Yes?
Counselor Scalise?
Yes.
Counselor Horton?
Yes.
Counselor Skiles?
Yes.
Counselor Spradlin?
Yes.
Mayor Sherman?
Yes.
Is that a question?
Thank you. All right, and then we have Historic Preservation Board. It looks like we have got, and these are community members, it just has to be approved by council. Irene Melendez is new, Heather Payne is gonna be a reappointment, and Sherry Chavez a reappointment. So if anybody doesn't have any issues with those three being appointed to Historic Preservation, I'd look for a motion for that. That, because you're on.
I'm on it, yeah.
Mhm.
So I'd move that we appoint Irene Menendez onto the board, as well as
Heather Payne and Sherry Chavez.
Sherry Chavez. And Heather Payne she was an alternate though, isn't she?
Oh, is she?
Yeah, that's correct, but she still needs to be
Yeah.
appointed.
Reappointed,
Yeah.
okay. Very good.
Second? James.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Counselor Skiles?
Yes.
Counselor Tyree?
Yes.
Counselor Spradlin?
Yes.
Counselor Scalise?
Yes.
Counselor Horton?
Yes.
Mayor Sherman?
Yes. All right, that motion passes. Next we have another resolution. This one will be Tyler talking to us about.
Right, good evening, Madam Mayor, City Council. So the resolution before you tonight is part of a grant submittal to the Department of Local Affairs for their Energy Impact Assistance Fund. This is for the water treatment facility that we're putting our financing together for. The grant itself varies every year based on funds available that are allocated through the state. And so the timing also is a big factor in how much we can ask for. I think in the past, if I'm not mistaken, there was a spring and a fall cycle or something like that. But the funds have been depleted because of the state's shouldn't say depleted, it's been reduced because of the state's financial challenges. And so DOLA was being proactive and wanted to get a grant round open prior to, or at least at the beginning of the state legislative meeting, so that way there would be funds available before they put them all elsewhere for the communities. And so we put a request in for $1 million. They've already stated that you're not likely to get that, but go ahead and ask high, and hopefully we'll get as much as we can. So as part of the submission, it does require local jurisdiction to take action and approve the grant submission. So that's what the resolution entails.
Okay. Thank you, Tyler.
You're welcome.
Right, do I got a motion on this one?
I move the resolution 2026-4 supporting the application for the Energy Mineral Impact Assistance Fund be approved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Counselor Horton,
Yes.
Counselor Scalise,
Yes.
Counselor Spellman,
Yes.
Counselor Tyree,
Yes.
Counselor Skiles,
Yes.
Mayor Sherman.
Yes. All right, that motion passes. All right, we'll move on to finance.
I move we approve disbursements and payroll for January 27th, 2026 through February 9th, 2026 totaling $754,459.53.
Second.
Should I do the second one?
We can combine into one motion.
And I move we also approve disbursements and payroll for February 10th, 2026 through February 23rd, 2026 totaling $542,776.33.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Counselor Tyree,
Yes.
Counselor Skiles,
Yes.
Counselor Horton,
Yes.
Counselor Scalise,
Yes.
Counselor Spellman,
Yes.
Mayor Sherman.
Yes. All right, that motion passes. Staff reports. Tyler Purvis, Assistant Administrator.
Okay. Got 5 things tonight to go over real quick. The first one, going back to the board appointments, I just want to acknowledge a couple of names who've been longtime board and committee members in the community and have recently said I've served my time. One of them is Helena Schultz on the Historic Preservation Board. She's been there for a very, very long time. Jeff Osutz with the Board of Adjustment, Richard Byron with the Planning Commission, and then Greg Kraub with the Tree Board as well. I know there's always community members that come and go on those, but they've given many, many hours for many, many years on those, so just like to give them a shout out here tonight. The second item is our annual tree program is currently underway, and so that offers 2 legs to it, where we give out free trees to community members for their front yard, and then a 50-50 where we split the cost with property owners for a second tree in their front yard or a backyard tree as well. We do that every year because we are a part of the Tree City USA designation. Trees are great, trees are beautiful, trees have a lot of benefits to them, and so we invest in that every year. We changed it up a couple of years ago where community members can just go online and fill out a form. There are sign-up sheets at City Hall and over at the 304 office, but it's convenient to put those in. It does have to be someone who's in city limits. Every year we inevitably get people who live out in the county and they say, that's great, free tree. And we say, sorry, not for you. Just for local residents only. And then we piggyback that program with the Arbor Day celebration, which we will plan on doing the day before Arbor Day, which I think is April 23rd, if my memory serves me right. The location yet to be determined, but we do that with the 3rd graders every year. They have a fun little performance of songs, poems. They do an art contest every year with trees and plant trees, of course. So that's a whole part of the springtime kit and caboodle for the tree program. Number 3 is that the City of Brush is currently in the process of working regionally with the Northeast Colorado Emergency Management Region Hazard Mitigation Plan. Chief Flecksteiner, myself, Dale Colbert's probably been involved in that, probably Monty. We all got a hand in it in some degree. So we're going to be meeting this week. So regionally that plan is being updated. So that way we're just being proactive on when it comes to hazard mitigation and risk and things that come up. But it also opens the door for potential funding as needed, I think, on both the state and federal level. Number 4, Colorado Water Conservation Board, who is the state agency who serves as the arm for FEMA when it comes to water needs. About 2 to 3 years ago, we started a risk map. MAP stands for Mapping, Assessment, and Planning. Essentially intended to be a FEMA floodplain map update with newer technology and that kind of thing to more accurately define what the city of Brush's floodplain should be, whether they're smaller, bigger, or the same. And so we were looking forward to going forward on that. It was on hold for quite a while because over on the western side of the county with their floodplain there was some information that they were having a hard time getting squared away. So we were on hold and got an email recently that due to FEMA funding reduction and uncertainty, that project has been shelved indefinitely. So unfortunate for us because we were really hoping to see the floodplain honestly shrunk down quite a bit. We have our questions about it, but that's that for now. So in case anybody asks you, that's the latest and greatest. And then lastly, our staff, we're continuing to look at building code updates in light of state legislation surrounding energy conservation. So by June 30th of this year, we're pretty sure that we're going to have to do another update of code based on Denver No Invest for Brush, Colorado, and what we have to do for our building code. So we're trying to navigate that. The state did hire consultants, building consultants, who are available for communities to help navigate through what that could look like and all the different options. So myself and our building inspector Juan, we've been talking with mainly Juan, but I'm on the conversations now. But we've been talking with those consultants for a number of months now. So in the next few months, we'll come back and get some thoughts from council on where to go from there. So those are my updates. Any questions? I'd be glad to answer. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Tyler. Fire Chief York.
Evening, Mayor and Council. Just a couple items. So the new Cascade system is installed at the station. The old one was donated to Otis Fire. They came and picked it up on Saturday. And then we will go to Rosenbauer March 23rd, 24th, and 25th for final inspection on the engine. And we'll have delivery of it. The first couple of weeks of April, it's got to come back to Loveland for the graphics to be installed on it. And then end of April, first part of May, we will do final inspection on the tower with delivery there shortly after. Other than that, that's all I have, unless anybody has any questions.
Thank you. Lynn Schwentz, Community Services.
All right, just a couple things. Kind of give you a rundown of all of our departments right now and what they've been up to. But our Parks and Cemetery, we kind of have the islands ready to go. There's one small part on the third island that we need to get the water department's going to be fixing a valve. But outside of that, once spring comes, we should be ready to plant, and I think it's going to look a lot better than it has over the past few years. The guys did a really good job with all the irrigation because we had to pull all that out and redo it. So looking forward to that. We tore out also a couple pieces of playground equipment, and the new playground equipment should be arriving anytime now over for Memorial Park. So that will be getting installed here early spring. And over at the golf course, we had a pretty busy February. This is usually our down month because just with weather and everything like that. So we did schedule a lot of different events. We had a really good Valentine's Day night with our Valentine's specials. We also offered trivia night, and we did a puzzle contest all on that weekend of Valentine's Day. However, with the weather being so nice, last year at this time we had 98 rounds of golf. This year, up to date, we have 721 rounds of golf. So it's been a huge increase, which it's kind of scary though, because we really need some snow in the mountains and everything else, because we understand the whole irrigation issues as we get further into the season and stuff. This Friday, Dave Henderson will be playing at the golf course on. He seems to be kind of a local favorite. A lot of people like to go watch him play, but he'll be playing Friday night. As far as the recreation department, this weekend we'll be wrapping up our youth basketball program. Youth baseball will actually start on Monday, so we are getting going with baseball right away. Monday will be for the majors and minors, and we're taking signups for the rest of the kids T-ball through the older kids. We've also going to be having Tiny Top basketball. We've started signups for that. That will be starting March 16th, and we usually get a pretty good crowd for that. Our active older adults this past January for our meet and greet, Jim Crone came and gave a really good talk about his book and about his life and where he's at now and stuff. And this Friday, Mary Gross from the Morgan County Family Center will be leading the discussion, and then the Brush High School drama team will be doing Act 1 of their spring play, so they will be also performing Friday at the VFW at 10 o'clock. The first 2 months, our active older adults have also held dances at the Moose. They've been very well attended. Unfortunately, it's been mostly out-of-town people, so we're hoping that we get more locals that will come to those dances. However, in March and April, they do skip the dances, so we won't have another one until May, but January and February was very, very well attended, so that was good. This Saturday, we have a trip going to Blackhawk. We're totally full. We have 50 people signed up for the community trip to Bally's, and the bus is going to be leaving from City Hall here at 8:15. March 2nd, we have a meeting for our community trip that will be going to Branson in December, and that's at 5:30, and that'll be at the golf course for anybody who wants to attend that. And then the March 14th will be our 20th annual actually, St. Patrick's Day race. That'll be held over at VFW Park. We're going to be opening up the museum that day too for museum tours for people. We're also going to host a one-pitch softball tournament and be getting free corned beef and cabbage meals along with green beer and the regular festivities and everything that goes along with that. So that'll be on March 14th. March 3rd, going back a little bit, we have scheduled a pool meeting with the architect of the new Fort Morgan and also the Yuma pool, and they're going to meet with us to talk about the process that Yuma went through and also Fort Morgan to get to where they're at, so that we can start maybe putting the ball in motion with our swimming pool. So we're going to talk to them, and that's at 1 o'clock. If anybody would be interested in attending that, it's going to be at the golf course also. We'll have a lunch provided, and if you just let me know, then I can make sure I have enough food and everything. And March 27th and 28th, the Division of Wildlife and the Rec Department is going to be putting on the next hunter safety course over at the JC building. So information should be out on that so that people can get signed up for that. So that's kind of what's going on in the recreation world. As far as Prairie Trails Park, they did get the standards up for the backstops, and we also have the skeletons of all the dugouts up. With baseball starting shortly, we are pretty confident we're going to be practicing there within the month. And Fort Morgan is actually going to be utilizing 2 of those fields for their tournament April 11th. So we will be having some games there too. We're going to have to use flip boards and all that for score and stuff, but things are kind of coming together with that project. Took a walk before I came to council tonight and cannot believe how many people were in the park this in February, so it was kind of nice to see. Any questions I could answer?
Lance, I'm just glad that you're working on the pool and taking a lot of time and effort bringing in others to have those discussions, because it usually takes a year or 2 of talking about it, planning before you can execute. And I'm sure there'll be some type of ballot initiative to pay for a pool, so.
I've been in contact with Yuma a lot, and they actually, their pool has been shut down for, I think this is the 3rd year. So they haven't had a pool for 3 years, and that's what kind of got the ball rolling with them. But you know, their community is starting to get kind of restless. They want to be able to have a summertime swimming pool. So we're going to look at that, and the person that I'm meeting with has done Morgan and the Yuma one. So kind of looking at how we can be a little different. We don't want to duplicate services or anything like that completely. You know, I know granted a swimming pool is a swimming pool, but maybe we can put a little bit of do something a little bit different so that it's unique and we get people to come here and stuff. So we'll see what happens.
Cool. Very good. Thank you, Lance. Dale.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Be kind of brief tonight. Work sessions is going to be the lengthy one, but the street department's been cleaning stormwater ponds in and around the community. We're taking advantage of this extremely dry weather because sometimes when those ponds get wet, you can't get down into the bottoms and such, and the trees tend to grow. But we've been doing quite a bit of maintenance on these stormwater ponds, and so that's about the only benefit so far of this dry weather. We're also going to be doing crack filling the streets here probably later on this week. The water department is still changing out water meters, and we're not as far along as what I was previously told, but so we still got a ways to go before we get going on our radio reads. And then also we were interviewing for the open water foreman position today and tomorrow. We had 4 candidates that applied, and the one that we interviewed today is pretty strong. So I have to see how the others do. So next, we did a comprehensive inspection of the grid out at the well field. History, a little bit of background is that all the wells used to have their own electric meters, and then REA suggested that we go with a master meter, and that way they don't have to go out and read each of the individual meters, and save us some money. But whenever that happened, that grid downstream of that master meter becomes ours. So I've been told that there was quite a bit of work that needed to get done. That's one thing we don't want to have fail out there is the grid. Fortunately, we did a comprehensive inspection on it here last week, and it's not as bad as what it sounded like. We actually budgeted for $300,000 over the next 4 years to get this work done, and it looks like we might be able to complete most of it this year. So that'll look at that's roughly about a $225,000 savings for the water fund if we can get it all done this year. So that's some good news with that. Most of it is there's a few poles that need to be replaced, a couple transformers that need to be replaced, and the rest of it is just tightening up hardware on the grid itself. So that's not too bad. Trash department, we're waiting on the delivery of the new trash truck. Should be here either later this week or the beginning of next week, as I've been told. This will bring our fleet to 3 trucks, and so this is going to be able to, we'll use this oldest truck on occasion, keep it running and everything like that, but it'll be very helpful on spring cleanup. We'll have another truck available. As it sits right now, we have a holiday and we have to do 2 routes in one day, and so it's really hard on the crew, and it's really kind of frustrating for our customers as well, because they're always looking to see that their trash got picked up and it still hasn't been there yet. So maybe get this sped up a little bit, so that'll be helpful. And the other part to it too is whenever we need to have preventive maintenance done to one of the trucks, we have to take it out of service while it gets oil changes and filter changes and any other work that needs to be done. So then we're late on routes again. So this will greatly improve our customer service with the trash fund. And then also I was told that we were awarded a styrofoam recycling container. However, it has not been delivered yet. So it's still in the works. And that's about all I have. Any questions, comments?
Very good.
All right,
Thanks,
thank
Phil. Chris Western.
Good evening once again. I have a little bit of news to share with you regarding our finance department. We've not had a full staff since the beginning of December. We've been without an accounts payable technician since December 4th. We've been fortunate to have our recreation assistant, Verna Mayers, filling in and taking care of all of the expenses for the city, so that's been great. Our new AP tech, Whitney Machuca, will join us later on this week. So we look forward to her joining our finance team. Also this week we'll be conducting interviews for our accounting technician in charge of payroll and utility billing. This position has been vacant since the beginning of this month. We are fortunate to have our current staff member, Kimmy Balada, stepping in to oversee the utility accounts and making sure the utility billing is done. I will be overseeing and processing payroll until we can find us a new teammate. I am extremely thankful for all of our hallway coworkers, which is Loranda, Chan, and Kim, because they have been great also in helping and stepping in whenever it's possible. So it's great that everyone's just kind of pitching in to help us make sure things keep rolling. So being understaffed can seem quite overwhelming, which it has been, but you certainly can eat the elephant quite a bit faster when you have several people taking bites out of it at the same time. So that's how we're seeing this. It's working well. So I really look forward to sharing a lot more good news with you as once we're fully staffed and get back to really presenting you some good, solid financials. So that's all I have for you this evening, unless you have something for me. Okay.
Thank you, Chris. All right, Loranda.
Since Counselor Machuca accepted the position with the Finance Office, she has turned in her resignation from council because we do have a policy where you can't be employed and on council at the same time. So I will begin advertising for the Ward 2 vacancy tomorrow. We have 60 days to fill that position, or it needs to go to a special election. In the past, we haven't had any trouble filling Ward 2 positions, so what we'll do is I'll set a timeline with council and keep you informed. We'll have a process where they come before council. In the past, we started doing it in work session, but I like it better when we can do it in management so that it's televised and so the public can also see how those interviews go. So I'll keep you posted on where we are with that process as we go along. And then the boards and commissions appointments, we will have more. We have quite a few that we're advertising for right now. Board of Adjustment, Planning and Zoning, and the Water Advisory Board. We've had a few come in on the Airport Advisory, so we might be able to fill those vacancies pretty quickly. But we'll also keep you informed on that and bring them to council whenever we need approvals for those appointments. And then the 27th annual MCC Foundation Gala will be this Friday night, the 27th, from 6 to 10. It'll be at the Mark Arndt Event Center. There are still tickets available. Sorry I didn't get this out to council before now, but you're welcome to attend, you and a guest, and the city will pay for your ticket. And just let me know as soon as you can, because I'm sure the ticket count is getting pretty low this, only 4 days before the event. I also wanted to mention Steve Rohde. He has been a long time volunteer. For 14 years, he's been pretty much the museum curator and has done a lot for the museum. And we're going to look at putting together an event to honor and thank all of our volunteer board members, probably around spring or summer, wouldn't you think so, Monty? And we'll be getting together with all of the boards and getting that word out. So that's all I have, unless anyone has questions. Okay.
Thank you. Dan Crabb, our city attorney, is on the phone. Are you there, Dan?
I am. Thank you, Mayor, Council. Not a whole lot to update you. I'm working on a couple of legislative updates out of Denver that you should see ordinances coming your way in the next couple of meetings. It looks like Tyler and I have some ALO updates that will come your way probably pretty shortly here. And then I did contact the lien holders at 7 Circle Drive and I sent them an email a couple of weeks ago and followed up with a phone call. Was unable to get a hold of them today, but that's all I had, unless you guys have questions for me.
Very good. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Monty.
See, a few items. One is, Lance was talking about the warm weather and all. I mean, it's great, but then it's not good for our water system. Dell's also kind of gave me indications that the conditions are reminding him of back in 2002.
Yes.
In 2002, if you remember, that was when we got into drought or near drought conditions here, and we started having to do water restrictions or voluntary water restrictions, and then later on we had some short-term water restrictions that we put in place. But We're not quite sure if we're there yet. So Dell and I, over the next few weeks, will put our heads together and we'll come back and give the council kind of an idea where we think we stand, and then certain triggers that we'll watch before we could do anything else. But for sure, we'll advocate for just water conservation in general. 'Cause I think most people know it's pretty dry. Anyone who has a yard can look at their yard and see it's looking not the best. So we'll keep you appraised of that as we move forward. I did want to bring up that the Colorado Land Processors, they were a company that when they were debating about whether to go out of town, come to Brush, we worked with them on some properties that we had, the Brush Agri Park, an old feedlot north of town. And they've been in business for a number of years now, and one of the incentives is just kind of came about. We were holding off on when they had to pay their plant investment fees for wastewater, and so they finally paid that pretty substantial amount back to the city. And then we have some funds that we're going to return to them or send their way here in the near future too, as part of those incentives. But it was just an example of how we worked together with a fairly large company and got them to locate in Brush. And so I thought it was a good success. Just to recap, I think they're about 5 or 6 years, Tyler?
Correct.
I think about 5 or 6 years they've been working or been operating now. So that's been a really good positive. Other thing is our economic stakeholders group. Tyler coordinated that today, that meeting at lunch. And that's been a really good group too. The group was put in place back in the early 2000s, and it was to help work as a group collectively to do good things for the community. And I thought it was really positive, the special districts visiting with Tyler and coming up with the plans on how to utilize potentially some funds that may come from either Just Transition or from Xcel Energy. Best use of those funds. So as we get a little bit closer on how they're going to do those, we'll bring the city council in and educate you on those. But right now it's just in discussion phases. But that was really positive to see that moving forward. And earlier we were talking about the DOLA application. Just one of the things, it's a process you've got to go through, and the next steps is we'll get a pro-con sheet or a visit from Greg Edel, our DOLA rep, and then there'll be hearings after that, and then we'll see if we get awarded funds or not. But it's a long process, and Tyler's taken that on, so I appreciate that. It's a lot of work. And there's many more steps yet, but we'll get there, and hopefully we'll be successful there. Other thing is, we've talked about our staff meetings, but we have a discussion about beautifying Brush, some of our efforts this upcoming year, or this year, and even just cleaning out the ponds and everything of all the debris and the trees. That helps make Brush look a little bit better. And then there's a whole list that we have. We've been talking about those, but I went and did a drive about, and we're going to look at seeing if the Lions Club, the Rotary Club, maybe the Moose Lodge, all of their shelters at Memorial Park. It's almost time for a paint job on those. Every so many years we would paint those and just make it look a little bit better. And I noticed like some of the park tables, some of the paint's starting to peel, but every so many years we just go through and just paint a whole bunch of them. So just trying to make the community look better. And Lance is going to be working on the bike path that leads up to Beaver Valley and up to the golf course, and Dell might even get some slurry sealing on that asphalt path, make it look a little bit better, more joggable, walkable, and bike rideable. So we're looking at a lot of different things there to make Brushes look much better. Other things that just came up this last week was there are some grant funds for Safe Streets for All. It's federal funding, and Dell and I will look into that a little bit, see if that's a potential for Mill Street from Hospital Road going up towards Beaver Valley, replacing that road. Last I heard, $3 or $4 million for that one.
It's probably close to would always add another million.
Yeah, I'll add another million by the time we get to it.
We're
Yeah.
talking me here, add another million.
Anyways, everything else is at either executive session at this point or work session. That's my report.
Thank you, Monty. All right, Mayor and Council reports. Does anybody have anything to share?
Nothing.
Oh, I did forget one. There's a local lady, business owner, very interested in dog parks, and so Lance and I, we've been having a lot of discussions about where should we relocate our dog park to. If you have any ideas, please send them our way, because we're pushing hard to identify where would be the next dog park for the community.
Very good. Definitely something that people ask about a lot.
Mhm.
We definitely need one. So,
And during my walk, we do need, there was, you could pick up all the way around the pond. I mean, there's just a lot of waste that I think a dog park would help
mhm.
satisfy, so.
Yep. Cool. Very good. Mayor and council reports. I just want to say I am glad Whitney got the job with the city. I know that's good for her personally. Selfishly, I was looking forward to having her on council. But so I'm hoping that we are able to fill her spot with somebody equally as wonderful. And but yeah, I'm happy for her to have got that job. I know she was pretty excited. So, and then I went to the police department swearing-in ceremony, and I was so happy to see I had counselors Scalisi, Tyree, and Spradlin here. I think it's the first time I've gone to one where we had 4 of us from council there. It was really nice to see. So. Support the PD, and those are always really cool ceremonies. I get a little teary-eyed all the time. I'm getting stronger after each one. But that was all I had. If nobody has anything else, I would look for a motion to move into executive session.
Move into executive session.
There's a whole thing you gotta read.
I gotta read the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't have the mayor. Just read this.
I usually give you guys
Is
the
it just a little
cheat
excerpt?
sheet.
Sorry, I didn't pull the right thing up.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize you didn't have it.
I move we go into executive session pursuant to Colorado Revised Statutes Title 24, Article 6, Section 402 at subsection 4A for the purchase, acquisition, lease, transfer, or sale of any real person or other property interests. The matter to be discussed is the acquisition of land.
Good.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Counselor Spradlin?
Yes.
Counselor Tyree?
Yes.
Counselor Skiles?
Yes.
Counselor Horton?
Yes.
Counselor Scalisi?
Yes.
Mayor Sherman?
Yes. All right, so we'll go into executive session, and then we have a work session after that. So looks like we'll see a couple of you back. So we'll try and be fast.
It'll be 10 minutes, 10 minutes. You do it. What time are now?
Last council meeting in 10 minutes.
I
Yeah, how come you can't do that?
know. We've had some, but I don't know. That was pretty quick. I was
That was a quick
watching
one.
you from my recliner.
Just
with
blew
the foot
through
up.
it.
So then.
Nobody's muted, okay. We are back.
All right, Dan, I think we're back.
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Dan Kropp. I'm the city attorney. I'll note for the record, the time is now 7 o'clock. We're returning from an executive session. I was present throughout the executive session. The scope of the discussions were within the scope of the statute, and as the city attorney, the attorney-client privilege attaches. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. And we don't have anything to vote on, so I will look for a motion to adjourn this meeting and move into work session.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we're adjourned and,
You guys ready? Keep on moving through?
yep.
All right, actually, the next three are Tyler's, right? Tyler?
Like it.
The last one is Dale and I and you, but we'll start with Ray, actually.
Oh, the service.
Oh, yeah.
Wildfire cover.
Okay, all right.
Do you want to give the intro or me?